Away from that, Ghanaian researchers are advocating a combined preventive vaccination program with enhanced public education to enhance the uptake of COVID-19 vaccine. They believe this is crucial in attaining the desired herd immunity threshold in Ghana. The recommendation comes at the back of a survey of over 2,000 Ghanaian adults, which found about half of mostly urban adult Ghanaians over the age of 15 are likely to take the COVID-19 vaccine. However, they found many who were hesitant had not received adequate education on the possible side effects of the vaccine. JoyNews medical reporter Dr. Neta Pasram speaks with a member of the research team, Dr. John Amusi, of the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research.
Not just people not getting sick and dying, but just being able to short circuit the virus so that it literally could even disappear from circulation, and even if it still remains in circulation at very, very low thresholds, that should not disrupt our normal ways of life.
The impact of COVID-19 vaccination programs on disease transmission, morbidity and mortality depend heavily on the population's acceptance of the vaccine. The research explored vaccine hesitancy attitudes amongst adult Ghanaians, as well as the likelihood of patronage or non-patronage in the government's efforts to have citizens vaccinated.
One of the masterminds of this was Dr. Theophilus Achampong, and what we realize is that people's views and perceptions on vaccination are not stable or are not fixed. People's views evolve with the virus and their perception of the virus and what the threat is, both to them and to their communities. Now, if you just look at this table right here, you can see we interviewed close to 2,500, actually it's 2,345 people, almost an equal distribution of males and females. If you look at it carefully, you would realize that the males were more likely to take the vaccination. But if you also look at those who were undecided, you'd realize that there were more females who were undecided regarding taking the COVID-19 vaccination. So already what that should tell you, and I don't want to go too technical, but you realize that there was a significant difference between males and females regarding their perception of vaccinations. So that should tell you that men and women are thinking differently regarding vaccination. What that should tell you is the approaches towards convincing people should be tailored to meet their needs based on their agenda. And so that's really an important finding that came out there. You look and you see that for the age groups, it's just amazing. The older you are, perhaps the more likely you are to get vaccinated, particularly for those who were 45 and above. For the younger, they were much less likely to get vaccinated and much more undecided. But clearly, people who are older were more likely to decide again. And this is pretty clear also because of all the talk about older people being more at risk and having potentially having negative outcomes. And this really got into people's heads. Not only that, but people would pressure their parents or their grandparents to go get vaccinated because they're not ready to hold a funeral just yet. And this is where I think the rubber hits the road. I'm not well informed about the possible effects. I mean, most people were concerned, and their major concern was the effects. What is this vaccine going to do to me? Is it going to render me impotent? I mean, it may sound like something funny, but it's a real concern that people have. And I don't know what it is about us Ghanaians or Africans, but, you know, the sexual potency seems to be a very crucial going concern in every area of our lives. And it's a signal that this is one area where perhaps we need to pay more attention to how people process this kind of information and how they link events to their sexuality or sexual performance is really important. Again, if you look at it, the second most important reason was they're not sure if it's clinically safe. So if you even add on those two, that's on more than half of the people focusing around safety issues. And so being able to get information out there regarding the fact that this vaccine is not harmful, this vaccine will do you far more good than any possibility of harm, that even if, and it's possible that you may have some fever or feel unwell after taking the vaccine, it's just going to go away in a short while, and it's definitely worth that trouble. I think all these are important. But what we missed out on is making this very clear. Some people went for the vaccine and were very surprised to find themselves with chills and in bed the following day, and they had no idea that this was possible.
The scientists suggest that the vaccination campaign should focus on individual as well as collective benefits of vaccination, especially amongst the youth. Reporting for Joy News, Dr. Netta Pashram.